Welcome to another episode of comXone. We're doing things a little bit different this time. I've got two stacks of things I picked up at the Panel 1 Comic Creator Festival here in Calgary when I showed it that last weekend. Depending, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the time. My focus, what I wanted to do on this, I've got quite a bit of stuff that I picked up with this one. So there's a pretty good chance I'll try to break this into two pieces. We'll do one set of things this week, probably this first pile and this second pile, or maybe this pile, but a couple of less things next week. I want to try to give a little more time to everything, as well as make the episode not too long. I just looked at the sort of width and breadth of what I've got here, this really great haul I got from this event, and figured it's a little more than I wanted to do in a single episode. So let's set a few things aside. And if you've been watching this over the last several weeks and seen what we do, we're going to start, as we often do, with a little bit of flagrant self-promotion. We're going to start with a piece of mind. So I created something for this show that I wanted to give away. I gave these away to anybody who would stop and talk to me at my booth, as well as everybody who was an exhibitor at the Panel 1 Fest. As I've been talking about in the last, it's been the last several months, I'm creating an album for the next graphic novel that we're doing with Genki Comics. That's what Gord and I do in our little collaboration. We're doing a graphic novel based on something that's called the On to Ottawa Trek and the Regina Riot, 1935, here in Canada. So I'm creating a companion album that will go along with that, and the songs will coincide with some of the events of that graphic novel. So I released the first single. It's called Tramp. It's an adaptation of an old Joe Hill song by the same name. It's called The Tramp. When he did it, I did it. An adaptation of this old protest. It's a labor protest song, and called Tramp. And I've done it to 90s industrial music is how the album is being done. If I can get this tall. So what I did is when I released this song in January, which I released for free, I did a animated lyrics video that went along with it. So I whipped up a little zine based on the lyrics of it, that has the lyrics of the song, as well as all of the various places where you can get this song. It's on Bandcamp, it's on SoundCloud, it's on Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Spotify for streaming. It's completely free. Or if you wanted to throw me a couple bucks, there is a way to do that on Bandcamp. Everywhere else, it's completely free. I have it on my Gumroad store as well. Basically, you can just go to withthesetwohands.com, or if you want, you could go to any of these QR codes will take you to it. You can check out the song. It's a long one because it's a adaptation of a protest song. These protest songs are always fairly lengthy, so it's a 7-minute song. It may not be for everybody, but it was a lot of fun to make. The album will be mostly more of your standard length songs, other than than that particular one. And on the inside of the zine, I put some of the stills from the animated lyric video that I did with a QR code for that. So there's on YouTube, there is an animated lyric video for that. So you'll find that it won't be on the same channel that this is on, because that's on my White, Gray, Black YouTube channel, whereas the song is on my With These Two Hands YouTube channel. I know. It's complicated. I get it. It's one of those things. But yeah, so I whipped up this. It was really great. It was really fun to be able to hand these out. Maybe we can get some more ears and eyes on the song. because I'm super excited for it and really excited to see where that album goes. I've got most of the other songs are in various stages of production. Okay, flagrant self-promotion is over. So let's talk a little bit about Panel One. So Panel One is a organization here in Calgary that they're great community builders. I always say that about them, that the best things that they do is their community building that they do. So you can follow Panel One on Instagram at Panel One. Let's take a look at this cool pin that I got. Pretty nice. Let's see if I can get a nice close one out. That's the logo for Panel One. They do this really great. So it's called a Panel One Comic Creator Fest here in Calgary. What Panel One does better than I think any other organization in Calgary right now in the sort of the scene, in the comic and zine scene, is their community building is really strong. They do various sketch sessions and other workshops, as well as the Panel One is just so good. So they've been doing it for a number of years in Calgary. I've only been showing at this one for about the last 3 years. In 2022, they came back after COVID, and then they are going to be starting to do one in Edmonton starting late this year, I believe in October of this year. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to go up and do that one. The first things I want to show you are some of the buttons and stickers and pins and things that I got, and then we'll start moving more into the rest of it. I don't have any, unfortunately, I do not have any contact information for this next one, because this is a great story though. So Rainbow Wonder is a really interesting, really unique exhibitor at Panel One. It's actually a young child has created their own character called Rainbow Wonder. So they had their parent with them there. Sorry, I've got a cat here. Say hello. There's Juniper. Say hello. Off you go. So this young kid has made their own character called Rainbow Wonder. So if you search for Rainbow Wonder, you will sometimes find some information, some things with them, because they've created their own character and they cosplay as this character they've created, Rainbow Wonder. And they did a series of little hand-drawn comics that this kid has done. It's not on any social media, but it was really cool. And when I handed them my little zine, they said, please take a button. So I want to take one with it's just really neat to see this young kid. I don't even know the age of this kid, but very young child creating their own character and doing their own cosplay around it. It's super cool. That's kind of neat. Okay, the next one here. We're talking about Scudsworth. It's Josh. I've got a couple of things here to show you. So Joshua Miller goes under the name The Scudsworth. And that is not a typo, the THE, that is the correct way. So I've got this cool pin that they handed me. Really cool. So Josh does some really nice artwork and really cool pin here that I pinned to their business card. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of stuff that they do. But yeah, what I grabbed was their card and this really nice button. I like the style of it. It's got the hand-drawn, really nice painting style as well. I always like when people have some pen and ink and then do a really nice wash of color. So scudsworth.com is where you can find more of Josh's work. And it's pretty nice stuff. Let's see if we can take a look at that. I didn't get a chance to take a look at their site earlier. Scudsworth.com. Let's see what we've got here. Yes, they've got a bunch of really cool. Let me bring up some of Josh's art here. They, I do believe that Josh did take the, is likely, as a lot of the people at panel one were, a lot of them are old alumni of the University of the Arts here in Calgary. You see, he's got his portfolio here. Some great character designs. It's nice stuff. I like it. Really nice work. And they've got a number of different, let's jump into here. This is some of the more towards what I showed on the card here. This webcomic that they've got, Gamers Are People Too. Yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, Josh was doing some good work. Okay. Let's jump on to the next one. We're going to talk about a couple of cool stickers. I was talking with this next creator, Trever Gieske, at Cosmic Amazing. We were talking about stickers. I've been trying to figure out how to make stickers work, but Trever, he's a clever dude. He's got a couple of great stickers here I grabbed. Look at those. AT Walker plucking a fly out of the air. It's pretty great stuff. Really nice work. Trever does a series of really good small indie comics and sort of zines as well. I've shown some of his stuff previously. He had one called Murder Bag that is like really cool. He actually had a sort of second printing of Murder Bag. It's a story of a couple who is off hiking and they find somebody's duffel bag of basically murder tools out in the and it suddenly dawns on them that if that's out there, there might be someone coming back for it, and them trying to figure out how quick they should run away or what they should do. Yeah, Trevor's work is really great, and he's got a great sense of humor. Really good sense of humor, really good, and a really good rendering style as well. He's really good at his drawing is very strong. Next, we're going to talk about Teddy. Teddy Edwards is a artist from Edmonton, Alberta. You can follow him at Teddy Kaboom. Now, Teddy Kaboom, if you've been watching this program for a while, is the developer of the game Legumi that I've talked about on this program before. So he does art and zines and comics, but also game design. And Legumi is a really cool game. It's on Steam now. It's on itch, it's on Steam, and it's really quite cool. Let's see if I can get this to focus the way I'd like it to. There we go. There we go. So that's a nice piece by Teddy. So definitely, I always recommend checking out the game Legumi. You play as a sentient being character who is searching for enlightenment, and going to these shrines and trying to learn about enlightenment. And it's kind of got a couple of different gameplay things to it, to where you have a timer because you only live for 60 seconds, I believe, and you have to continue feeding and getting beans to keep you alive for longer, to keep that 60-second timer going, as well as that ends up being your ammunition to scare away various creatures that are out in the world that you encounter. It's pretty cool. Now, we're going to talk about this a couple of times as Into the Dungeon Fest. We're going to talk about these folks a couple of times, but I wanted to focus right now on this and talk a little bit about Dungeon Fest, and then we'll probably get to it again when we show a couple of zines I got from the same folks, but it was made by a particular one of them. So is these two guys, they put on a miniature figure-based RPG sort of festival. I believe it's Dungeons and Dragons based. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's Pathfinder or one of those other ones. Truthfully, I'm a bit of a Philistine when it comes to that. I don't quite know how that stuff works. I haven't really delved into that. But yeah, Into the Dungeon Fest is a really cool thing. They had a really great setup with these minifigures and like a medieval town setup. And we're advertising sort of their Dungeon Fest that they put on. And we'll delve back into this a little bit. But I wanted to give this a special shout. This sticker is a beautiful, really nice, like really beautiful feel to it. And then we'll talk about the zine and we'll go into it a little bit further a little bit later on in the program here today. So Dungeon Fest is kind of a neat thing. If you're around in the area, it seemed like it'd be pretty cool. I wish I understood more of that stuff. I wish I had gone into that stuff more. So next on our sort of early quick hits that we're doing here with the smaller pieces, we're going to talk about Rose Enns. So Rose, it was their first time doing the Panel 1 show. They had some stickers on hand. Unfortunately, I didn't grab any of the stickers, but I did grab this really nice handmade business card that they created. So Rose, under the names for Seagull Creatives, does a bunch of artwork around, mostly centered around birds and seagulls, but also this great coffee stain art. So Rose works with coffee staining to do some pretty cool stuff. And yeah, this is a neat little piece. I like coffee staining because it the way that it affects the paper that you put on, the substrate that you put it on, is always an interesting thing to me. It always, feeling the way that it distorts the paper and from the way that it's absorbed in there, and then Rose doing their line work over top of it. It's pretty cool. I want to see more from Rose. They are I think they've graduated from the University of the Arts here in Calgary, but yeah, I want to see more of their stuff. Hopefully I'll run into them at another show in the future here, and we'll get to check that out some more. I'm going to take a quick look at a couple. There's a couple here. Now I have just a card for one of them, so we'll mention them a bit more briefly, but this is a couple here. Got some great stickers. So Kang Sanee and Mirim Ko are both illustrators and comic artists. Really great stuff. Now, Kang Sanee does a webcomic as well, which we'll delve into a little bit. I actually want to kind of show you a little bit of it because I think it's fantastic. So I got a couple of really great, really cool stickers from Kang. But Kang does a webcomic called Modern Asian Family about their life here in Calgary. If I can get this, there we go. Modern Asian Family. And it's a heck of a lot of fun. So I want to take a quick look at that. And we'll get right onto that. So this QR code will take you directly to it. It's on Tapas and Webtoons. We're going to take a look at the Webtoon page. See if I can make that. Come on now. Play along. Play with me. You never know with this camera, I'll tell you. I'd like to give... See, the problem is it's grabbing onto here. That's fine. We'll put it up on the screen in a second here. There we go. So you can see it at the bottom there, webtoons.com. And it's called Modern Asian Family. And let's take a quick look at the newest one that just came out just a couple of days ago about the Green Line here in Calgary. So the Green Line is a transportation project that's happening to build our light rail system out a bit further out of downtown. I've run into many info booths on Calgary's Green Line Transit. We just started construction. I love trains and public transit. I still remember seeing the latest Shinkansen bullet train in person. So I'm now heavily into showing my support for the Green Line. Come on, I want the stress toy. You get, I spin. And Mirim, who's their partner, likes my enthusiasm. That's a lot of goodies. I can make my own model of the Green Line. Yeah, fun. So Kang's series just talks about lots of things, like when they showed for the first time, or when they were attending Oda Fest, which is another festival here. It's an anime convention. And just the cool stuff that they saw. They saw cosplayers. Yeah, super fun. Very cool stuff. Definitely worth checking out this. It's cool to see their experiences. I love this one with the CD player from their car, the old Kenwood six disc changer in the trunk of the car. He falls asleep to it all the time. They never change it, and then they trade in for their new car. They forgot to switch it over to the new one. It's cool stuff. Now, Mirim Ko, also, which is their partner, they also do a lot of illustration work. I love this illustration. The style of it's so good. And they also, at some point, were doing some webtoons as well. So it was really nice to meet them. I think the work they're doing was really nice. And they were very, very friendly folks. Okay. Let's jump onto a couple of zines here from Erin Shuttleworth. Now, in my life here, I know a lot of cartoonists. I know a lot of comic creators. I also know a lot of social workers. I always joke to everybody that that's the two kind of people I know in my life. Everybody's a comic book artist, or they are a social worker. Most of the people I know. So this is an interesting sort of melding of those two worlds. Erin Shuttleworth has these two pieces here talking about grief. Which definitely brought a lot of those things together, because my partner is a grief counselor. So I see a lot of this stuff. So it's cool to see these two really beautiful pieces. You can also find Erin at erinshuttleworth.com. I love the way that this is. The way this is packaged is so nice. This one's called Grief. I used to be underwater, drowning in grief and despair. Slowly, I found the surface, trapped in a void of loneliness. Eventually, I came upon a field of brambles. They hurt as they bite into my skin. But I can also see the sky. Really, really beautiful piece. Anyone who's gone through grief will tell you that it's those feelings that's, you feel like you go from feeling like you're seeing the sky to feeling like you're back underwater, and it moves back and forth. So this is my favorite part about this sort of medium, is that the vulnerability we can show. Here's another one talking about grief once again. 2023 brought me to my knees with grief, by Erin Shuttleworth. And look at the artwork in this. It's so, the colors and everything is just so great. In January, I began a journey towards self-love and acceptance. I committed more to fitness, friends, and reconnecting with old hobbies. I fell in love with hiking again And one day in April, I came to the startling realization that I had fallen back in love with myself. But as May crept around, I was starting to seriously consider ending my marriage. I couldn't even put into words why I was unhappy, other than knowing deep within myself that I needed a divorce. In June, I asked for a separation, knowing that I had hurt my ex so deeply was devastating. In the early days of the breakup were debilitating, messy, miserable, and torturous. It felt like I was in a washing machine on the spin cycle. But in July, I laughed again. And in September, I moved into my new place. By November, I had come alive again. My heart is still wounded, but this has been the most fulfilling chapter of my life. I didn't know that I could simply be happy. There's a lot of grief surrounding my decision, especially when it comes to my daughter. She may never understand or forgive me for leaving her dad, but now she gets to grow up with a mother who unconditionally adores her, who makes mistakes, who sings in the shower and dances in the kitchen, who models healthy relationships. While it may sting sometimes, I know I can take better care of her when I feel fulfilled. I have disappointed others, lost a lot of friends, been gripped with loneliness and grief. However, I also feel like I'm on a path to a gentle life filled with compassion, laughter, and love. And that's all I'm aiming for in 2024. It's cool. It takes a lot to spill that out and to make yourself that vulnerable. So congratulations to Erin on those. Those are both really compelling, really deeply moving and compelling pieces. So I applaud them for those. Next, we're going to take a look. It's a piece here that I got from Matthew Springer. This was another first-timer to panel one. Really great table full of stuff. I wish I could have gotten more stuff. I ran out of time at the end of the day to trade for more things. Matthew had the spread of creative stuff that Matthew had was really quite inspiring. All really vibrant. Sorry for that big bang there. All super vibrant work, super cool to look at, really stylish. This one's called Blorb. Let's see if I can force this to look at a little better. There we go. Blorb, number 6 from Matthew Springer. Awesome pieces, like treading that line between psychedelia, surrealism, almost touching on some of those ideas of 60s and 70s and 80s counterculture, early zine work, some of the stuff you might have seen from R. Crumb, other artists that are beyond my understanding. Just the style that he puts in, and this alligator, so good. All of these are just amazing. Looks like this might be a piece from another person there. BR. Look at that one. So cool. I feel like some of these I need to flip them around and look at them from different angles to kind of take it all in. Beautiful painted background on this one. Really good stuff. So Blorb, you can submit the Blorb. That's great. So some of this is from other contributors, which is super cool. Bring this zine to outer space with you. That's what it says there. So you can actually submit the Blorb at matthewspringerart@gmail.com. That's super cool. I might have to do that. I don't know. This stuff is beyond me, but maybe it'd be fun to do an exploration on some different styles of art and send something in. Love that piece. moving right along. The next one here is by Spenser Wain. Now this one, man, this made me laugh. This one was very good. So Spenser Wain, you can find them at Spenser Draws on both Instagram and Blue Sky. And I love this piece. Man, it made me laugh. I was chuckling when I got this from him. I went back and read it at my table, and I was sitting around chuckling after. Finding instant success as a comic artist. Now, sorry, Spenser, I'm going to spoil the surprise of this one in this stream, but I love it so much I have to. Are you a comic artist? Are you looking for your big break? Well, look no further. As a very successful artist myself, I've been there. It's rough. But if you carefully read this entire zine, you'll see just how easy making money can be. For reals. My method is simple. Ash, don't get that. Got a cat being crazy over here. My method is simple, painless, easy to remember, and vegan friendly. So, without further ado, here's the big secret. Here's how you do it. Here's how you become successful. By reading this page, you hereby consent to the terms and conditions. Oh golly, a real liar. The terms and condition read that all readers of this zine finding instant success as a comic artist must forthgive with the author Spenser Wain $5. No exceptions. Cash, e-transfer, or checks are accepted. Have a nice day. Patent pending 2024. I tell you, I didn't expect it. And when I read this at my table, I was chuckling for like 10 minutes. That's so funny. So Spenser, you got me. Check's in the mail. That's all I can say. Check is in the mail. This next piece is from Nicole. Nicole Gruszecki does a huge output of zines. I don't know how they do it, but somehow Nicole manages to put out several new zines every time I see them. So this one's their top 5 moments of gore. What you'll find often about Nicole's work, and everybody, please follow Nicole. Follow everybody, but follow Nicole. Nicole's like a kindred spirit. Really loves the old horror movies, really, and really soaks in it, which is cool. So top 5 moments of gore. So content warning. Number 1 is from Zombie, from Lucio Fulci in 1979. Now, it's been a long time since I've seen Zombie by Fulci. I might have to check that one out again. So this is Nicole's favorite moments of gore from some great ones, like Martyrs from 2008 from Pascal Laugier. It's a cool, if you've never seen Martyrs, it's a good one. Of course, the chest burster scene from Alien, 1979. Alien is probably in my top 3 movies, I'd probably say. Scream, from Wes Craven in 1996, where I think that's Drew Barrymore's character at the in the opening prologue. Yeah. Oh, the original Alien 3D? Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely. One of my favorite movies ever. Melding science fiction and horror in that way. One of my favorite movies. The Thing, probably another one of those top 10, at least somewhere in there. John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982 with the dog scene. The dog scene is really quite compelling. So Nicole has a lot of really great zines that talk about horror movies, including this next one. But I'm going to put a whole schwack of names and information up on the screen right now. Follow all 4 of these people. We've got 4 people here. We got Nicole, Hartley, Malory, and Shea. They all worked a bit on this one. So this here, I don't know. There's some great stuff. This is probably somewhere. This is like in the top handful of things that I got and saw at the show. It's called Last Call. It's cocktails with horror movies Final Girls. So what Nicole did is she went to Hartley Rose, Malory Linus, and Shea and said, we're all going to choose our favorite Final Girls and create cocktails around that. It's amazing. So the Final Girl is a horror movie trope that refers to the last girl standing to confront the killer. So what they've done is they've created actual themed cocktails, which is super cool. It's 1996. There is a masked killer on the loose. You are at a massive party at Stu's house, drinking beers and celebrating school getting canceled by getting trashed and watching horror movies. When all of a sudden, your friend Randy goes off and starts yelling about the rules of surviving a horror movie. They are as follows. Number 1, you can never have sex. Big no-no. Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs. It's a sin. Number 3, never, ever, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back, because you won't be back. If you recognize that, that's from Scream. On that note, we present Last Call, Cocktails with Final Girls, a collaborative zine where we have paired 8 iconic Final Girls with fun cocktails. We hope you have as much fun with the zine as we did making it. Let's delve through these. Rule 1 is never walk backwards. I've never heard that one. So the first one, and this was Hartley's, is Susie from Suspiria. And created, look at this, created 2 cocktails around it, the Kirsch Royale and the Blue Envy. Now, I don't make a lot of cocktails. I'm going to have to go shopping. I want to try and make some of these. So the Kirsch Royale. After surviving your friend's reanimated corpse and impaling someone in the neck, you need a pick-me-up. Get that champagne ready with some Kirsch and cherries and celebrate staying alive. I would have loved to have seen the actual party of this. Second one is Laurie Strode from Halloween. Oh my gosh, it goes around. I have to keep turning this to read it. Let's take a look at this side. Wanted babysitter. Seeking a soft, innocent teen to tend children on Halloween. Basic knife skills are an asset. Call Mike M at 555-1031. So it's got an orange wheel and a lime twist called the Jack-O-Lantern. Cognac, Grand Marnier, orange juice, ginger ale, lime twist, and orange wheel. This is such a cool zine. I didn't know. So when I saw it, I didn't realize what it was. I was just like, oh, you got the some finest Final Girls from horror movies from the 80s and 90s. We got Lieutenant Ellen Ripley from Alien with the face hugger. When chews, the buzz button hits like a face hugger, like a sparkler in your mouth. It numbs and tingles. Oh, yeah. This has ginger puree, kaffir lime, lemon juice, coconut ginger rooibos tea, lemongrass syrup, vodka, beer, and a buzz button. Which I don't know what a buzz button is. We got Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. And the illustrations in this are great. If she falls asleep, Freddy's gonna get her. It's called the Wake Up Nancy. Is the one in this. 2 ounces of vodka, 1/2 ounce of Kahlua, 1 ounce espresso, 1/2 ounce Nestle chocolate syrup, and garnish with a coffee bean and a clump of skin. Kirsty. Kirsty from Hellraiser. That's probably my favorite Final Girl. Be Kirsty from Hellraiser. It's called the Painkiller. Kirsty has opened the Lament configuration, and Pinhead wants to tear her soul apart. Little does he know what badass Kirsty has in store. Pinhead loves pain and suffering, so Kirsty puts all the ingredients in a shaker with ice and shakes them up. Then she pours it over ice and garnishes with nutmeg and pineapple. Kirsty takes a sip and spits it in Pinhead's face. She laughs as he melts away with the painkiller. Love the color in this. I have a lament configuration in my house downstairs. Just to remind guests that they're welcome, but I end well. Ah, yes, Sidney Prescott from Scream. It's the hanky panky. If you remember, her boyfriend was always asking about hanky panky. Gin, vermouth, Fernet Branco, and an orange twist. All Sidney's bubble butt boyfriend Billy wants is a little hanky panky, but has to wait until the final act to graduate from a PG-13 relationship. The hanky panky cocktail was invented by Ada Coleman after her friends complained about wanting a drink with a punch. Sidney certainly delivers a wallop to Ms. Weathers and killers Billy and Stu. Oh, did Rick and Morty do something with Hellraiser? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Ah, yes. From The Descent, Sarah. The Descent, if you've not seen it, great movie. Really great movie. Oh, and this illustration of Sarah is really quite nice. If my camera would just be nice to me. It's called the Spelunk Juice. Going with it. I love this illustration. It's so good. Wow. Oh, Midsummer. Danny. The May Queen. Perfect after a long day in a cult. This refreshing and floral gin cocktail will bring you peace. And they've done two of them. They've done the floral syrup and the May Queen. I love the collaged piece. And here's the creators. All four of them are super cool people. Really cool people. Let's read about them. Hartley Rose. Hartley Rose is an embroidery artist, creative editor, and marketing gremlin. Hartley does all of the marketing for Panel One. Hartley is awesome. They're all awesome. All four of these people are awesome. Hartley makes her zine debut with Last Call. Originally from the woods of the West Coast, Hartley grew up pretending she was Alice from Friday the 13th while playing make-believe with friends in ditches and on docks. On a rainy day, you can find her in a used bookstore, curled up watching wrestling or baking up a storm with music blasting in the background. They did Danny from Midsummer and Susie from Suspiria. That's why we had that really great, in Midsummer, that was all embroidery thread for this sort of headdress. Cool. Malory. Malory Linus is a longtime supporter of graphic storytelling in its many forms. Sorry, I was having trouble looking at this page. There we go. That's a little better. She has evidence that no one lacks creativity despite their own protestations. The best final girl, in her opinion, is Sailor Moon, who persevered alone until the end at least twice and used nothing but her love and empathy to win against darkness and evil. Malory would very much love to see how Sailor Moon would defeat a xenomorph. They did Laurie from Halloween and Ripley from Alien. Nicole Gruszecki is a Canadian artist who taps into her horror punk DIY roots for inspiration. Currently, she is focusing on making zines and, lost my place there for a second, that are mini love letters to all the things in life she engages with the most, such as horror movies, music, animals, and video games. If Nicole was a final girl, she would be Good Girl Laurie Strode from the OG Halloween. She is a self-proclaimed rule follower, but also knows when to step up and break the rules to protect herself and those she loves. She did Kirsty from Hellraiser and Sydney from Scream. And Shea Prue, who we'll actually see some work from probably next week. Shea Prue is an artist and illustrator. She's the author of ABC Monstrosity, which is a really cool book, by the way. If I've not, I think I showed it months and months ago, maybe a year ago. And it was a book where all the illustrations for the letters of the alphabet continue to combine to create freaky mashups. She has 2 daughters. Alice is her first girl, and Lucy is her final girl. She's a big Ripley fan because when her daughters find a big weird boy, Shea takes one for the team and sends it packing. She did Sarah from The Descent and Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, look at this. This page is awesome. That's so good. What a cool thing this is. What a great, really great piece. Okay, now we're going to do that return, as I was talking about before, to the table that had the Dungeon Fest. They've done, so you can follow Andrew at Andar Permulon. These are 2 zines that he did for free to go with those things. So he did one, it's a zine for Mordheim. So I believe what it is that previously they had a group that was called the YYC Mordheim group, which is their group for their sort of Dungeons and Dragons work that they do. And they've since renamed it the Rust Punks. So this is a slightly, I think this is just before they did sort of the renaming. So this zine is to give the community the spotlight and showcase any upcoming events and highlight what a wild bunch of weirdos they are. Pretty cool. So they do a bunch of miniature figure painting and really cool. So here's some look at some of the sort of sets that they've made. So they've got this thing where it's got a crypt and it's a cemetery, some hallowed ground, and then battlefield stuff, and these painted minifigurines. They're super cool. So they did something called the Winter League where they got together and did, battled everything out. So like I said, I don't know for sure if this stuff is Dungeons and Dragons based. If they do any, say, Warhammer or things like that, they may do some of that as well. I can't recognize this stuff by sight. If I can get this to, let's see if it is able to focus. This is a tough one for my camera to focus on. There we go, that's a little better. So here are some people at work in that one. Rat Boy Minis, Warriors Dawn. Yeah, that's the thing. I can't recognize just by sight of what the characters are from, if they're Dungeons and Dragons or what. So like I said, they do this Into the Dungeons Fest here in Calgary, where they all get together and do a heck of a lot of cool stuff. Dungeon Fest is approaching. We are looking to offer exclusive homemade Mordheim scenarios to play for AMO. If you have any scenarios that you have written and need to play test, be sure to post in their Discord. Huh. Yeah, I don't know quite how it works. Okay, this helps to explain. Here's some Warhammer, 40k Kill Team. Flames of Orion, that's another tabletop game, I do believe. I've never tried this stuff out, but I love minifigures. I just think they're cool looking. So this is showcasing what people in the community have been working on. These are really great. It looks like people are actually, in a lot of cases, it looks like they might be 3D printing and creating some of their own figures. And then also painting their own figures. Pretty cool. It's neat. So between April to May of this year, they renamed the YYC Mordheim group to Rust Punks. So let's see how this works. Let's read about this. This does explain. I took a quick glance at this earlier. So the YYC Mordheim Discord server has been renamed to the Rust Punks. Pretty cool. Ultimately, Calgary's DIY and punk rock roots won out, and we are now the crustiest, rustiest ragtag group of gamers around. Don't forget that the Into the Dungeon Fest is just around the corner. Tickets are on sale. Okay, so they're doing tickets. And it's at the Legion Branch #1 in downtown Calgary, which is a great little venue, by the way. So they'll do Old School Magic the Gathering. I understand what that means. Mordheim, Morkborg, a painting competition, music, Flames of Orion, and open gaming tables. That's neat. And what we've got here is a couple of neat sort of character sheets about this this Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition creature called the Weregoose. It was an abomination like no other. Let it never be said that we folk are the ones to shirk our duties. When the Black Blood tribe of Dread Moray came raiding Caladir's shores, we were there to face them. A host of our strongest men from Holyhead and the surrounding villages with skilled archers from the Durnall Forest to support us. We all knew how to face the Black Bloods. I don't know what this accent is, but I'm going to keep doing it. Like our fathers and our fathers before us, spears, swords, and axes in hand, we arrayed ourselves in ranks and awaited the werefolk onslaught. We thought we were ready. We did not know they had a new dread creature to throw at us. A scrawny, half-starved wretch of a man came forward, screaming foul-mouthed curses at us. We laughed at his attempts at bravado until he began to transform. First, he swelled in muscle and bulk until he grew to the size of an ogre. Then a third arm sprouted from his chest, covered in scraggly down, into a big orange beak, and another similar head sprouted, and another still. Each head honked and shouted obscenities. And then it charged, ignoring our lowered spears as it bowled us over. He slaughtered our men with claws and bites. Such a chaotic flailing of arms and beaks, it was difficult to score a cut, which only served to anger the creature further. Poor Nigel got it worse than the others. He was picked up by the shoulders as one of the creature's heads reared up and darted down, swallowing Nigel whole like a chunk of bread. 2 others went down its gluttonous maws until our captain sounded the retreat. We didn't bother to count the dead, and we already suspected what happened to the living. Never again shall I see a goose in a peasant's coop without recalling my encounter with the baleful, hate-filled monster. Signed the Sergeant-at-Arms, Owain Llewellyn, Holyhead Militia, Kingdom of Care, Co-Leader. That's fucking cool. That's one thing I like about tabletop gaming. That's the stuff that makes me kind of want to get into it, is the just writing these stories. The improvisation and the writing and the backstory that goes into this stuff is pretty cool. So here's the multi-headed weregoose that created all hell. It's a shape changer. It's got sight and heads, and it's a weregoose. That's yeah. It's when I see stuff like that that makes me go like, okay, that's pretty cool. New games and new friends. Yeah, so they've been working on some new games, these folks. Let's read about the 4+ philosophy. How many times have you sat down to play a casual war game and got caught up flipping through a rule book to clarify if your model can or can't perform an action? When rule books, say that 5 times fast, fail to specify how a rule works or doesn't provide clear enough wording where it leaves you scratching your head and asking your opponent what their opinion on the ruling is, just try rolling for it. It seems simple, and trust me, it is. The point of this concept is to keep the game moving forward and letting the dice decide. You specify that on a 4+, the ruling is blank, and on 3 or minus, the ruling is blank. This concept may not work for every game and situation, but talk to your opponent before the start of your next game. Let them know that you're here to have fun, and if the rules aren't super clear, just let it decide on a rule of 4+. That sounds smart. Eileen. Yeah, look at so this is some of the minifigure work that's been happening in the group. Look at that stuff. Look at this like sexy Warhammer orc. I think that is. It's like a Burt Reynolds pose. Cool stuff. I wish I knew more about tabletop gaming. Pretty fun. But they do learn to play events. Maybe I'll have to go check one out. I don't know if my head can get around it. It's super cool. Yeah, this one here, Funny Bunny, these are folks that do like Magic the Gathering and Mordheim and Warhammer 40K, all sorts of cool stuff. I've never checked it out, but I was able to get a couple zines from them that I thought was pretty cool. Okay, next we're going to talk about the Deadly Skulls. They're a rock band that comic writer Rick Overwater is in. And you'll actually see here, don't bother trying to redeem my free album. I already did it. So the Deadly Skulls are like a really cool rock band. And this artwork here, I can tell, it doesn't say, but I can tell this is a Cam Hayden joint. I can always tell a Cam Hayden. So Rick Overwater is a writer. He's also in the Deadly Skulls, as well as he's in another band called Agriculture Club with Cam Hayden. So this Cam Hayden obviously did this artwork. This is the album cover for Number One in Sweden, which is an album that was put out by an EP that the Deadly Skulls just put out in the last, not too long ago. And look at this. I got this wicked ass sticker. Look at that. That's pretty cool. We're going to talk about this beautiful, just knocks my socks off sticker sheet from Catherine Dubois at Dubois Draws. This is Catherine's character Manmer, whom I love intensely. I love Manmer so much. I love Manmer. So Manmer is a sort of half man, half fish, all butt. He's got it going on. He's got the junk in that trunk that all the fish in the sea love to savor. It's adorable. So follow Catherine. Please follow Catherine for more Manmer stuff. This sticker sheet is amazing. Catherine does a ton of stuff, does a ton of really cool stuff, but Manmer is, I don't know, Manmer just makes me smile. I love it. And look at the work that Catherine did. Like, Manmer's awesome. But can I just shout out for a second the beautiful like watercolor stuff that's around. Like, you don't have to put this sort of cool artistry into the stuff that's ostensibly like not the sticker. But Catherine is that kind of creator. Catherine is a creator who gets the details. Along with stealing my heart. Man, oh my God. I love it. So follow Catherine for more of that. Catherine also recently became married, so congratulations. Very happy for them. Next, we've got a piece here. So I was talking with another creator, a creator from Grand Prairie, Alberta, and he handed me a couple of these sheets here for a Kickstarter that's happening right now that I've taken a quick kind of look at. We might actually jump in and take a look. So two creators, Cameron Cookshaw is the artist for this. It's going to be a series called Candlehead. It's a bit gory, it's a bit scary, it's a bit horror based. This, if that'll focus, it won't focus. This would take it to the Kickstarter. But if you follow at Cookshaw on Instagram, you will definitely get, sorry, don't mind my extremely dry hands. I was cutting the lawn today and my hands paid for it. So Cameron Cookshaw is the artist on Candlehead. And here's another piece from Candlehead. It's on Kickstarter right now. Kind of neat. I love horror-based comics. What can I say? I gotta type. Pretty cool. So it's written by J. Herrera Kamen and going to be drawn by Cameron Cookshaw. So they've got, okay, the script's done, illustrations are done, lettering is done, and they're going to be doing coloring and distribution through their Kickstarter campaign. So yes, it hasn't launched yet. Okay, that's the thing. Yeah, that's why I was looking at the other thing. So yeah, they're going to be launching this this soon. So they've got the illustration done. And if you look at Cameron Cookshaw's Instagram, there's some cool video of him actually doing the art. His art is super cool. Yeah, Candlehead. That's I'm interested to see. Victorian serial killers, time-traveling religious fanatics, the armies of the underworld, and the battle for humanity. What's not to like there? And they seem like they're pretty cool folks. I don't know if they're all from Grand Prairie or not, but I know some of them were. Okay, we're going to look at our very last one here. I was so happy to get to reconnect with Charlotte. So I've shown some other art cards. I may have even shown this one. I couldn't remember which ones I had. I was trying to. Charlotte had had three beautiful art cards, and the other two I remembered for sure. I was like, I think I have those, but I wasn't sure if I had this one. So Charlotte. Oh, sorry. Let me get Charlotte's information on the screen. Is at Puffy Whiz. But they also this is from their webcomic that they do. So you can follow them at Puffy Whiz, and they do this beautiful, beautiful series called Tailwind. So we're going to take a quick look at that before we end here, and then we'll do all the rest of them next week. Yeah, so this is at Puffy Whiz, and you can go to tailwindcomic.com. Here's a card for that. A free fantasy webcomic. And it's just beautiful. Like, it's so good. Let's read this. This will give us some flavor into it. In the lands to the north, they used to speak of wraiths. Tall and feathered, with eyes framed by long tendrils, they'd walk the earth each night with a lantern in hand to harvest the souls of the dead. Their stories have since passed into legend, but some still remember, and some still covet the power of the earthly light they wield. Super cool. Super cool. Let's actually look at the comic. I've got it up here. Boom. Tailwind. Now, from my understanding, the second sort of second series of it just launched this past week. So that tells you that the entire first, or maybe chapters may be a better way to put that. So I believe the first chapter is complete, and the second chapter just started this past week. Let's hit start here and take a look. So look at this. Look how, oh my gosh, it's so good. Let's see if we can go into full, no, that's the wrong thing. What's the button? There we go. Go into full screen. So look at the artwork of this. It's so good. Please check this out for yourselves at tailwindcomic.com. We'll go through the first few pages here. Following this sprite. And here are the beings with their lanterns. Ah, Charlotte's illustration style is so fluid. Look at the way that they do the plumage, or the sort of plumage and fur and things like that just looks so good. And now I remember talking about this with Charlotte. I believe this webcomic might be completely dialogue free. It might be all done with motion and interactions. I'm not sure if that plays all the way through it. I just seem to remember talking about it, and I think Charlotte might have told me that it was all a completely wordless story, which I think is amazing. Like, if you've seen me working on my comics, it's wordy. It's always wordy. There's a lot of talking, a lot of everything going on. So I'm amazed when people can convey what they need to convey without that. But there's some narration here. Now, I'm not sure if that plays all the way through. If there is no dialogue or not, I might be wrong on that. Let's just read this one. It's from Hope, from Is a Thing with Feathers, from Emily Dickinson. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Cool stuff. Yeah, here we are in chapter 1 of Tailwind. Yeah, so definitely check this out. It's really good. I can't speak highly enough about it. Really cool. Okay, that's my pile for today. Let's just take like a little gander back at what we had. Some beautiful pieces. Beautiful pieces. We had Charlotte and Cameron and Catherine. This is like reading Rainbow or Romper Room if you're a Canadian. They'd look into a mirror and I see Jimmy and Billy and Susan. We had the Deadly Skulls. We had the Rust Punks and Mordheim. This amazing cocktails with Final Girls. Nicole's other work. Spenser's very funny zine. Matthew's amazing one. We had the super cool grief pieces from Erin. We looked at the webcomic for Modern Asian Family, which is excellent, and Mirim's work as well. Rose. The Into the Dungeon Fest. Teddy's cool little art card. These great stickers from Trever Gieske. We looked at Joshua's work. And of course, this cool button from Rainbow Wonder. And of course, my little zine as well. Yeah, so that's one half of panel 1. The other half, we've got this pile of books to go through next week. I can't wait to delve through these. I really want to give everything its due. So slightly shorter episodes, but more in depth. And we'll do a part 2 where we go through all of these pieces. I cannot wait to show you this stuff. It's going to be great. So we'll do that next week. We're going to stop this for now. It will be up on YouTube soon. And thanks for joining me for the Comic Zone. And then we'll move into some other things. Thank you very much.